The S&P 500, the Nasdaq 100 were absolutely back. And this is what we were waiting for. We had the news we talked about yesterday. It passed the Senate. We knew we were going to get some bullish action into today. We had the debt ceiling, passed there. Now it's going to old man Biden's desk. Whether you like him or love him, Republican, Democrat, I don't care. If you're invested in stocks, you are excited about that man signing the dotted line. In the short term, maybe not in the long term, but the short term, you're excited for it. We look at Dow. We look at what's happening here. The Dow on the day. Boom, shaka, laka. Woo. Make a grown man cry. Dare I say. We zoom out a little bit, right? We zoom out. Let's look, how did we know Dow was going to get some love? How did we know? Okay? We look here. The 200 SMA, we've been counting on it. Boom, boom, pow. Round of applause, round of applause. Going into ES as well. Heading to our target, 43.28, 43.20 roughly. We're almost there as well. But going back to Dow, we look here. And this isn't even the tip of the iceberg on the day. In my opinion, not even tip of the iceberg today. Inverted head and shoulders on the Dow. Make a grown man cry. Everyone said, oh, look, it's only tech carrying us up. Where are they now? Where are they now? You have these people giving you elaborate ideas, but I'm telling you fact, not fiction here every single day. And then the kicker on the day, I'm not even gonna make you wait for the video. I'm gonna give you the juice in the beginning. If we're in a fight, it's like an NBA game, someone would be holding me back right now because I would want to square up with these boys. We look at what's happening with the Russell. You break above the 200 SMA. You've held below this since essentially March. You're breaking back above. The Russell is also consolidated in this range for almost 3 months. Let's say 2 months. 2 months, conservative, right? The Russell starts to move up. We know what's going to happen. The Nasdaq today. I would say the Nasdaq actually kind of just like consolidated, to be honest. You just kind of you pushed up a little bit, but we kind of just consolidated at highs. This is exactly where we want them. This is exactly what we need. Now, before we get into that content, before we jump into it, I have to ask you to do two things. Consider liking, consider subscribing. Every single day we make it is for you. I don't want to push this too much. If you want to, do it. If you don't, don't. Also, too, I want to give you a special shout out. Bazinga Pro. We just partnered with these guys. You're going to get 50% off. Use the code down below and the link for news, for charts, everything in between. A lot of people have been asking, and we finally got a big sponsor from these guys, and we're giving a huge discount. And that goes for every single membership you can get. So it's like huge. So if you want it, use it down below. Also, too, the newsletter. We have a lot to cover. I'm sorry, guys. A little bit of advertisement today, but the newsletter. And I do this because it's free. You all know the Discord link is down below if you want to join. Prices will continue to rise there. But we always tell you, free content, free content. That was our goal. All of 2022 or 23. That's our goal. Getting the best free content out there to you. And that's what we're doing. This is the newsletter. You go down to ES, Dow, everything. It shows you exactly what we expected. Dow specifically, we told you the 200 SMA. We told you what to expect there. It's a major support. Reflects a genuine bounce. 30. We told you exactly where you're 33.7. Where are you at right now on Dow? 33.8, right above that. I mean, everything here is on the newsletter. Absolutely free. So make sure you check it out. But giving you the best visual is ES because this really sets you up for the entire week. We told you 41.71. We told you right here as well. Should indexes fail to sustain above this threshold, pay attention to the lower support, 41.98, 41.71. What happened? What happened at those levels? ES. Okay. We scroll down. 41.73. Don't shoot the messenger. Again, 1, 2, boom. If you pay free, absolutely free, no paid, the link's down below. Check it out. And you can see we're not even advertising anything. And I think we advertised the Bazinga link because it was like our first time with them. But you can tap in as well. It's all there. Code DROP50 on for Bazinga for the, big discount. Let's go. Let's go. What are we excited for now? Now, I want to start with a little bit of maybe bad news. And I know you're like, Tyler, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Okay. We're going to go to the debt ceiling here in a second, debt limit. This is the only thing in the market, I believe, that could bring you down. It's like you're Superman and you know there's a nuclear bomb, a predator missile, you know, the great sword from King Arthur, Zeus himself isn't taking Superman down, but a handful of kryptonite can do it. And this is the market's kryptonite right now. This is what you have to be looking at. The debt limit and the ratings on our debt here in America. Okay. If these turn negative, you will see downside. I'm going to tell you right now. It's the only case for downside, but that's what you need to understand. I want to talk about the only bad news first. Let's keep going. Now, if you're interested in the debt ceiling, what's happening here, this is basically what's happened, and this was on Twitter. I post a lot of trades and stuff on Twitter as well to keep you updated, but I showed you, so you had the House, Senate, and then Biden signing this into effect. Honestly, this could be done as early as tonight, maybe even tomorrow. He needs to get this done ASAP, so I don't know why he's not. I don't know why it's not done yet, to be honest, but we'll see. So whatever, we'll see what he does. I don't know Biden's schedule, but beyond my understanding. Okay, now let's jump in there. Let's jump in. Let's not jump. Let's dive. Let's dive into this juice, in this Azul. Giving you a few, just if you're new to the channel, this is just a little bit of the success here on the channel the past few days. This is just today, just showing you what's happening here, right? I'm not making this up. This isn't even myself personally, okay? Just to give you a visual of what's happening and the money being made here in the market. A lot of people were talking about going short. We said those were people were dumb. You know what? What do they always say? Bears look smart. Bulls make money. Let me tell you, I love making money. That's what we like to do here. So that's what we're looking at on the week. Also, too, you're wondering about what happened with a little bit of this report as well. And this is honestly the cool thing about Benzinga is you can kind of go through their list really quick. This is one thing I do love. So let me actually pull this up 3 points. I can just quickly search. And you can see, so here's your unemployment rate right here. This started to rise from 3.4 to 3.7. The Fed actually gave a target of 4.2, 4.3 for a healthy pullback on the market. This is good news. If you're looking at it from a Fed point of view, that's good news that unemployment rose. This leads more into the idea that a pause could be coming. Now, I was all for a pause, and then we kind of see it flip-flop back and forth. So when I look at that, I'm kind of like up in the air, and I don't really want to guess too much on the pause right now, but this definitely sparks the case for a pause. Now we're seeing unemployment rise, consumer rates rise as well, and then we're also seeing most likely some slippage with unemployment continuing to happen, like a little bit of a snowball effect. This is what we want. This is good news, okay? We look at, what's happening with interest rates as well. What's happening with inflation numbers. I'm on a roll here today. Oil, you're still very low. You're mounted on the 200 weekly here on oil, but you still are making lower lows and lower highs. So we need to see energy, what happens here, but overall, we don't love it, okay? We don't love it. Yields, a little bit of a spike on the day. You had a little bit of a recovery. Nothing crazy, nothing at all. DXY still in the downtrend as well. This is the brood of it. Now, the good case. Okay, this is the case I'm going to tell you right now before we even get to the charts. The case for the upside now. Debt limit signed by the president going into Monday morning. Just like they said on Tuesday, we were going to drop after it was passed by the House. Spoiler alert, right? Now, the case for a continuation here. Let's talk about it. Okay. We had the idea of a pause. Things happening the Fed wants to happen. Unemployment rising. Consumers still trying to spend. Supporting what's happening here. Do we slip into a recession? It's possible. It makes sense from a perspective of unemployment numbers, etc. Does the market slip down into the giant hole back down again? Most likely not. We're in a period of absolute innovation. Numbers on these companies as far as NVIDIA, AVGO, AMD, Microsoft, and above, these tech companies, are continuing to grow despite being pushed into a recession. If companies are growing during a recession, what do investors think is going to happen when you come out of them? What do they think is going to happen when interest rates drop down again and companies can spend more money than ever like they were back in 2020, 2021? Ask yourself that, especially now that a debt limit has most likely just been erased and probably will never come back again. Ask yourself that. That's the question we need to ask ourselves. And I think there's a high possibility the bull run is commencing. There's a high possibility. Okay? That's what we need to be okay with and understand. Now, before you attack me and you say, Tyler, well, what's the case for this? I have to walk you through it. We have to walk through what's actually happening here in the market, okay? Higher lows, nonstop, higher highs. Now, ES and the Dow are behind the Nasdaq, and you're playing the catch-up game as we speak, okay? So we had some consolidation really on the Nasdaq today. Yeah, you bounced back up, but you didn't really do anything too crazy. ES, though, had a monstrous day. We look here at the 2-hour time frame. Then when we jump in here, you can clearly see what's happening. We can clearly see how we're moving, okay? You broke highs, another 50 points maybe of upside on ES. The Dow, as we mentioned at the beginning of the video, just rocketing, really pushing up as well. This is what you want to happen. Everything going up in tangent. For all the people saying conspiracy theories of what's happening and only tech is going, but this is what we said was going to happen. Once these other sectors start to get love, like specifically banks, XLF, look at the candles over the past few days, straight up with this news, high possibility you continue going up here as well. That's why I was saying Charles Schwab, great name long-term. We said this months ago, right? Congratulations, right? Very safe. Most likely a lot more upside if you hear from the bank names. That's what we want to see. UNH, that's what we're talking about. Healthcare names as well, okay? That's why you focus on this and finding these plays. Now, I will say I'm an advocate of not going heavy on the weaker names while you have other strong names going ballistic like tech. But I will say UNH, that's what we focused on this week. Banks, long-term. We said long-term. It's a great name long-term. Don't buy it. Don't think about it. Okay? And now you're seeing that happen. Once these other weak sectors that were very weak start to get strength, you just start taking off. Let's look at today what happened with Apple, right? Apple, you're slowly grinding up, but not really a crazy day, up about 0.5% on the day. What about Microsoft? We traded this one, actually a really good trade, I'm not going to lie, but still, you're slowly inching up, 0.7%. So some of the biggest tech names, and SPY barely moved today, but SPY had one of its best moves overall because those names were the ones that were most in pain. And this is a snowball effect, and this is how it plays out. Do we think that these names, healthcare and financials, are just going to have one good day? Not being sarcastic, think about it. Let me know down below. Do you think it's going to be a one-day run on these names? It's a serious question to ask yourself. Now, again, my personal opinion on what I'm looking at here, okay? So don't attack me. It is what it is. But I also want to post one more Twitter thought that's from Twitter. This is also from Discord. Shout out Bone Thug. Great comment here. Equity fund managers rate S&P CME net long positions by 448 contracts to 624.3 thousand. Think about it. Think about what's happening. Bulls clearly coming into the market. Do we think this is just retail that's pushing ES up here? Do you really think that? Do you think this is just a short squeeze? This is no short squeeze because these other names aren't being squeezed. Tech, financials are not being squeezed. Healthcare is not being squeezed. We have to be able to identify what's actually happening here. Okay? It's my opinion on the situation. Now, again, let me leave you with a few thoughts. A few of my favorite names. I'll have a video coming out most likely Sunday, and I know some of you might hate that, some of you might love that, but we'll have some more names and give you a better visual. We'll get an update when, markets open there and when the president hopefully signs, so we have more news on that. Okay, top names I'm liking. 1, UNH still has upside. I'm going to tell you right now. You like it, love it, don't really care. Clearly, you still have upside here on the daily, the 200 SMA. That's my target around 505, 506. That's what I'm looking for there. The craziest charts are something like Microsoft. Looks like it wants to absolutely rip here on the daily. You continue to ride the 90 MA. I do believe, and this is, You know, I don't like to call things at tops because you just have it's just riskier, obviously, to hammer calls or anything like that. But don't be surprised when we get back to that. And I'm not saying you run 30% like NVIDIA, but I do see potential to keep going. Okay, just like we said with Apple the other day. Highly likely you test new highs. Okay, you're breaking out. You'll look fantastic. Okay, a little bit deeper. Some of the better plays, I think you have a little bit more, maybe more opportunity. We got into Amazon. We made our money this morning, Amazon, but I think it's a re-entry potential play here. You look here at what's happening to the 90 MA. You're grinding. It's great. I will say the downside here is the daily candle was not ideal, but I still like the way you're moving. I like Amazon and I like Google specifically. Very good value names. Now, specifically with what's happening here on Google, I wouldn't necessarily consider it a pennant. It's more of an ascending triangle, as you can see this kind of forming out with some false breakouts. That's what I love about this. I think you're trying to break up. I think you're trying to get it. One of the best looking plays out there right now. In the money positions look really good as well. Last one is going to be Tesla here on the daily. Again, we said it yesterday. It's how we made all our money today. Tesla, incredible. Wants to keep going. Honestly, I think if you break 217, which you're most likely going to, you test 230. It's going to happen pretty quick, pretty soon. Have a good one, traders. I'll see you Monday.